think you use these terms, but this is not an original thought with me. I started thinking of it as a hidden century of black progress.
Yes.
From emancipation with the end of the Civil War through to 1965, let's say, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, 65, through the mid-60s, you've got a century, and you argue black educational attainment rises.
Yes.
Black poverty rate drops dramatically.
Yeah.
And these are people who started with no property, overwhelmingly illiterate. This is from the moment, the year zero in 1865 for African Americans. And they climb, and the other point that you make at a number of places is that the black family is overwhelmingly intact.
Yes.
Right up to 1960, most black, go ahead, explain that.
And not only do people take credit for things that were not their doing, they overlook the negative things that came in after the 1960s as a result of policy. In 1940, 17% of black children were raised in single-parent homes.
17%.
17. At the end, I forget the exact date in the 20th century, but after these wonderful reforms were put in, that quadrupled to 68% of black children were being raised in single-parent homes. Now, there's a whole literature on all the bad things that happen to kids who are raised by single parents, whether they are black or white, American or British. The studies show the same things. One study said that fatherlessness has a bigger effect than even race and poverty. And certainly I think back in my own life, I realized how fortunate I was, because even though my biological father died before I was born, I was adopted. I was adopted into a family where I was the only child in a family of 4 adults. And these were not people who were out having an active social life someplace. The life was there in the home.
They gave you their time.
Yes. And I remember years later when I became a parent, and like other new parents, I wanted to know, when is a kid supposed to do this, when he's supposed to do that?
When do they walk?
And I said, how old was I when I started to walk? And the lone surviving member of the family that raised me said, Tommy, nobody knows when you could walk. Somebody was always carrying you. But
so you had 4 adults doting on you.
Yes, and that's what, and then part of the rise of blacks before was because of things that were done by blacks. Example that I think of a lot was a kid who grew up in Harlem at the same time I did. We were in the same school. He lived 2 blocks from me. And we met many years later by accident on a street in San Francisco, and we talked about the old times. And one of the things he mentioned to me, that because he had gone on, he was making more money than I was, and he would become wealthy, and he lived overseas with servants, and he came back and moved out to the wine country and all that stuff. But one of the things that struck me, he said that he could remember times when he was growing up, when his father would sit at the dinner table watching the children eat and not eat anything himself. Now, it's not, that's what.
And now the father isn't even there.
Yes, that's right. Those kinds of things are what do it.
Right. Social justice fallacies. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a major factor in ending the denial of basic constitutional rights to blacks in the South. But there is no point trying to make that the main source of the black rise out of poverty, nor can the left act as if the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was solely their work. A higher percentage of Republicans than Democrats voted for the act, close quote. So you're saying something here which is
sacrilege.
It's shocking, it's heretical.
Yeah.
You're saying the Civil Rights Act ensured equality before the law. That was overdue, it was necessary, it was just. That's an accomplishment in American history.
Yes.
But At about the same time, we get the creation of a vast expansion of the welfare state, and it does people harm.
Yes.
It harms the African American family. It leads to fatherless. Have I got your argument right?
Yeah.
And you want to stand by that?
Yeah. And the other thing too, the Civil Rights Act was not what got blacks into professional occupations. In the decade prior to 1964, the number of blacks in professional occupations doubled. So this is not the result of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.